Is that what I'm supposed to do?
You have to put it up on the share the screen.
Okay, but I'm trying to log in, so tell me how to, not to. All right, where are
The
you?
wrong person asked.
Well,
Everybody's asking me tech
no,
questions
I guess you just
lately.
let me in. That's great.
No, I didn't.
Someone did, so there you go.
I'm going to start with all the introductory remarks while this is sorted out.
Jason.
Okay.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Is
Nice
the
to-
recording on?
Yes, it is. We're all set to go. Can't hear me from there.
But you have
You're all
to
set
sit
to
up
go,
here,
Chanel.
but they can see you on the camera. Sit right there, that's good.
This is Community Board 2 Manhattan Landmarks and Public Aesthetics Committee. The meeting is the first of 2 meetings for this month. The second meeting will be on July 20th. On account of the weather and a state of emergency not having been declared, there's not a quorum. As is usual, when there's not a quorum, recommendations of the members present will be presented to the board. If there are members of the public for 422 West Broadway, it will not be heard this evening. And for 287 Bleecker Street, it will not be heard at all because it's being reviewed by the staff. In order to facilitate the public comment section of the meeting, a sign-up sheet is being placed in the chat. Fill out for each application you would like to speak on. Please ensure that your camera and microphone are off. You will be elevated to a panelist at the proper time. When your name is called, turn on your camera and microphone and give your connection to the project, neighbor, organization, representative, or association with the project. Be sure to turn off your camera and microphone when you're finished speaking. You must speak for 2 minutes on any application. A member of the committee will consolidate the questions from the public for the applicant and for the committee and will pose them after all the members have spoken. The order for the applications will be presentation of the application by the applicant, comments in the following order. Elected officials or their representatives, invited guests, members of the public, members of the board who are not on the committee, and members of the committee. Following the presentation, there will be a business session of the committee to form the resolutions. Everyone is invited to remain, however, only members of the committee may participate. Everyone, please note that the Landmarks Commission, and by extension, the committee and the board, in its capacity to make recommendations, make determinations of appropriateness according to the statutes and regulations governing the commission. While there may be other concerns about the application, these can be noted but not govern a determination of the appropriateness. The first application is 51 Mercer Street to replace a door on the ground floor and a garage door. When we're set up with the applicant, we can begin.
I'm ready, and I'm sharing my screen, and I'm unmuting, and I'm on video. Maybe I won't. I'm not gonna use this audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
And just state your name, please.
My name is Jason Friedman, preservationist for 51 Mercer Street. 51 Mercer Street is a garage, 2-story masonry building on Mercer Street between Broome and Grand. On this page, you can see this beautiful designation photograph. This is not how the building looks. This is not even how the building looked in the 90s. I have some information about how it's changed since this was a garage as the use and as also the actual look of the building. The garage replaced originally a 5-story. Trying to just get in my slides here. Sorry. Okay, well, this is the present day building, right? So it's still a two-story masonry building. Everything's the same. Masonry openings are the same. It used to be off-white. Before that, it was Montauk sofa. During the two time periods, quite some time, maybe they were there in about 2004.
Excuse me, as we're going forward, this is unusual. You showed the designation picture and then the present was different. Was there an approved alteration in the meantime?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me bring that up. Let me go around a little bit since you asked, okay? Let's go a little bit of history. It was a 5-story building, okay? And then there was a fire. Even in the photos, the fire is taking place. It was replaced by a 2-story garage type building. There's some of these typical ones left at the end of the presentation I'll show you. You can see all the way on the right, the top row, Montauk sofa, an altered garage door with glass in between, presumably some part of the old garage door and some sort of a infill of a like aluminum kind of infill door, a retail door in the garage, in the midst of the garage door. This is the 90s photo, which doesn't tell us much, but it probably tells us that it looked like this, more like the designation photo I just went back to. And let's just go and give you okay. Sorry. Okay, this just graphically shows the progression all the way back to that designation photo on the left in plan and in elevation. You can see the original designation elevation with the true garage door and the separate entry to the same space. Then you can see there's some sort of change to maybe the conversion of the second floor, and there's that door on the left turning into the second floor access. A door put into the garage door that's modified with glass. Then there's the change to when it was either Montauk sofa or off-white, where it became a steel and metal black glass garage door with a separate aluminum door on the left side here and a transom panel made out of aluminum. And that brings us to the, can I go to the drawing all the way on the right? That's the current proposal. Okay. So the current proposal is more of a modification of the storefront in between some of the pieces that will remain. So it's really not a replacement. And I want to highlight that. And I'm going to just zoom in so everybody can see it really clearly. Okay. Oh, I'd love to hide these tools. I'm trying to go. Okay. So the areas that I have designated with this crosshatch are areas of existing to remain. What are these? These vertical pieces they're steel columns, okay? And then this rectangle is a big steel door. What I want to do between the two steel columns on the left is take out the transom that exists and the door and make a new transom door configuration. And what I want to do to the garage door on the right is I want to modify the garage door to make a store window transom kind of design orientation. So instead of this, let's say, 24 window panel storefront, I want to do a 12 panel over 2 panel storefront, which isn't so atypical in the district. So if I can move to some examples of these store panels over transoms for garages. Here's the details, okay? So, all right, let's go to the vertical detail, right? 2 details that are important. The detail through the transom door part and the detail through the modified garage door part. And as you can see, the detail from the transom and door part, I'm making less glass panels, a taller door, and on the garage, we're doing the same. Less glass panels, but it's more of like one big panel over a multi-light transom. And that's something that I have above the door, and that's something I have above the garage door. And the garage door is staying. It's just being modified. Okay. Here's the horizontal sections. I'll just leave those up for a second. You have the horizontal section at the transom level. You have the horizontal section at the door and store level. And any questions about those sections and anything curious about it? Okay. This is before and after, kind of crude, but you see, it's a very, very multi-light existing condition to a more, ground level glass with multi-light transom above configuration. And it's a modification, not some rip all the storefront out and put something new in. This is the historic district. I've got 4 examples of other garages that have a similar history. This is the Deitch Gallery around the corner on 76 Grand Street. It's actually pretty unchanged. So there's a lot of examples of things that are unchanged and things that are drastically changed. This is one that's pretty unchanged. This is one that's super similar to Mercer Street because it was a 5-story building in the 40s. Something happened. It was raised down to a smaller building. The storefront is at least some sort of base glass over transom glass configuration. It's been there since the 90s. I assume it's totally fine and it's still there. You see the picture on the right. Similar again with the building torn down, made a garage. You can see the garage in the picture from the 90s looks pretty much exactly like the garage door we saw in the designation photo of our garage at 51 Mercer. And that's now, of course, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, Hauser and Wirth. It's a small gallery, and they have a multi-light garage door, so very typical. I zoomed in, and the next one is, that's it. Tell me where you want to leave it and questions.
Okay, if you would leave up the one that shows before and after as a rendering, I think that's the best for us.
Okay, let me do that.
One thing I'm not clear from all the examples you showed, were any of the examples actual garage doors modified with this larger plate glass below and panes above?
I would say none of them still remain modified. I didn't find any of those, but I certainly found in the example of Hauser and Wirth, this is clearly an attempt and not like.
Okay, it's just that there weren't garage doors. It was just large openings showing. Is that it?
Yes, the type I was showing was a 1-story garage type building, not having to do necessarily with the storefront. I was starting with the typology of the garage.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Susan, if you would organize the questions.
Okay, are there any members from the public who would like to ask any questions or who have anything to say? Please raise your hand.
Laura Tenenbaum signed up to speak about this.
Could you see if she's there? Yeah, thanks. Laura, if you still want to speak, please raise your hand. Okay, I'll take that as a no. All right. Is there anybody from the board who wishes to speak? All right. Well, we'll move to the committee discussion then. Chenault, do you have some questions, some further questions?
Do any other members of the?
Sorry, what?
No other members of the committee want to speak?
Anita.
Well, I guess I'm torn because I think you showed some good examples of things that have happened in the past. I think the loss of the garage-like topography is lost now. It's just kind of a transom with a big piece of retail glass, which we see everywhere, and is very much catering to the retail business, which I understand also. So I don't know, I'm torn. I think it could, for example, maybe what might improve is if somehow the transom was expressed better. In other words, that's really what you're saying. You're having a door, a picture window, and a transom, but the transom doesn't show any delineation, like a heavier member.
Mm.
And also, I find that the relationship to the existing door, which the others don't have, the other examples, is lost. And I don't know, maybe there's a way that you could use the same size glass as the one going upstairs and find something that's going to, because right now they're two different sizes. They do align where the door is, but that's about it. The size of the glass does not mimic the residential entrance.
Okay, I just want to say we're keeping it a garage door. That's the intention. So just so it's like we'll always operate like that. So
It doesn't operate like that.
oh, it does currently. Here's a picture of it open. That's why I put. So look at but that's I'm not trying. Okay, and I also want to say
But it's a hinge door?
yeah, it actually.
Just spend a minute on that, because I didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Yeah,
Explain
it is. It's actually not like this, right? It doesn't do the like fold up thing. It goes up at an angle and then stays straight. And to not kind of, I won't use the word respond, but to include your comment about the horizontal. I can do what you said, because remember, I'm taking out everything between, it's just kind of like more of a mistake and I can make it better kind of thing, because everything between, these vertical lines here, these verticals here, I can take everything out here and I can make a stronger alignment here. And I can make
And how would I know it's a garage door?
That's the question.
Okay.
It's a mystery. It just looks
well,
permanent.
In this case, we could open it on sunny days because it's a garage door.
The door stays in position.
The door stays, the idea is, think of the door as it is right now is one big rectangle divided into 20 pieces. We're going to take out all the divisions and I can put in whatever divisions you want in between that rectangle. Everybody wants. What we'd like to evoke is the idea of a transom that's divided above a more open base. And I think with your comments, that could totally make it into the, even by the end of the month, or if you wanted me to like just tighten this up.
Oh, we're
and
just
show it.
talking. We're
Yeah,
talking.
but it's going to be the improvement that I'm going to make inevitably. So all I'm saying is,
Okay, let's just try to understand the things now and then in the executive section.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here and say that I think, and I agree with Anita, even though this is a modification, not a replacement, somewhere along the line, the idea of garage door gets lost. So when we see the existing, it signifies garage door, regardless of what its method of operation is. It's just a quick boom, garage door, industrial area, commercial past, boom, garage door. That's what we get, right? In what is presented, although it is a modification, not a replacement, that garage door reference it's kind of lost. It's kind of lost. So I think any way that can be amplified or evoked, tacking on to what Anita just said, would be desirable here. Because it actually doesn't evoke garage door. It just looks like an unusual transom.
And a regular old retail.
Yeah.
And there's no base, there's no meat on it if it really is inoperable. Is that even wide enough for a garage door? Not really. So change the proportions of the, or you're saying the door, this side door.
Not changing the
rolls
door.
up?
Like imagine the door stays completely connected to everything that's mechanical about the door. It will always be operable. If I have.
My question is,
Yeah.
Is it open from here to here?
No, it's just the right side.
Well,
today.
that's an odd proportion. That doesn't, again,
That's
that's.
just how it is. But I agree. It is odd. You're
Well,
right.
we're trying to get back to a garage
Right, but I don't want to step over in with anybody really, from modification to takeout mode. Because,
why is
well,
this?
because to do that, we have to take out some of those vertical members that I talked about keeping. So, you know,
You can modify without taking those out. That's your choice.
no, okay. It is my choice, but the idea is to make one choice, whether we're modifying the stuff between the masonry opening and the metal or ripping it all out.
Well, we're talking about results here. How you do it, I don't know. I don't know
That's
what
what-
that
yeah.
means
Okay,
really,
sure.
because
Okay,
Okay.
got the pencil.
Is Arturo on?
Yes. Hey,
Anyway,
how's it going?
Do you want to say something?
Arturo,
Yes.
please.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Chanel. I think I'd politely disagree with my fellow committee members on this one or the comments made so far. I do actually think this is a pretty well-designed proposal. I know it's not in the spirit of a traditional garage, but I think if we look at the neighborhood, a garage in this area would be quite strange. There aren't really, I think, examples in that neighborhood, at least on that street, of functioning garage doors with vehicles in them. The fact that this actually functions like a garage door in terms of opening upwards is, I think, a great embellishment for moving things in and out of the space. But again, unless this turns into like a Rivian or a Tesla showroom, I would be hard pressed to think that this would actually have vehicles going in and out of it. So that's why I actually slightly disagree with the comments already made.
Arturo, we're not expecting cars to go in and out. It's just a typography. It's a vocabulary. It makes sense for this kind of building, all the other buildings. So it's not, I don't even know why it goes up and down, honestly. I don't know what the benefit is, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe
well, the guy actually, he collected classic Porsches and they're kind of small in the body, the classic one, so he just needed that.
So he wants to be able to put his car in.
Oh, no, but that's long
Oh.
gone. This guy's, he left. That was back when you get one of these for like $7,500, yeah. You need a time machine for that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, can we move on now?
Yeah, sure.
Has everyone spoken, Susan?
I believe so. Sean, do you have anything?
I'm not
No, I
sure
think it
what's
looks great.
being,
I would have moved out a while ago.
We can,
I'm not sure what's
It's
being,
not-
that was the question. Thank
So
you.
I think it's great.
may I?
I kind of
Oh, that-
agree. I agree
Um,
with Arturo. I mean, it gives you the impression of what was there, but we are not here to landmark garage doors. We're just, it's the nondescript building. It's non-contributing, and it gives you the impression of a door there at one time. But I'm fine with this presentation.
Okay, well, we can discuss it briefly during executive session. See what
Um,
everybody.
I would just say, I don't know what's being gained here. And the top doesn't resolve itself as a top. It looks like the bottom was removed and nothing happened. It's somehow very unsettling, the 9 panes above and then a void beneath it. I'll speak more about it in the executive meeting. The business
All right.
meeting.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
excited about the comments. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That's
Thank you,
great.
Jason.
Okay, yes,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
I like the
Thank you.
spirit
Okay.
in which you take it.
Oh,
Thank you.
please, I take it very well. Okay,
Thank you.
no problem, no problem. Oh, sorry, my bad, right. I'm actually gonna help this young man with his
Are we
presentation.
ready now to move on, please?
We're,
Could
360.
you take down the,
Okay, sorry.
We have
Yeah, but we-
Broadway.
Okay, yep, sorry. I didn't know if that was canceled.
the next presentation is 427, 429 Broadway to construct a new enclosed egress stair at the rear yard. When you're ready, please.
Open this on the website.
Oh, I opened it.
Oh, yeah? I still can.
I'm sorry. Robert Strong has
Well.
his hand up.
Is he the presenter?
Trying to find that out. Robert, why is your hand up?
Robert, are you the presenter? You may speak.
Oh,
And please share your screen.
Robert, can you please let us know if you're the presenter for the Howard Street application?
He is. He started Robert. And he's having some technical difficulty.
Hey, Robert, we're having some audio issues. You're coming in really softly.
He is, he's the architect for
Yeah,
this.
okay, I'll promote it.
Okay. We're promoting you, Robert, so that you can present and share your screen.
Ask him to accept it.
No, I can hear Robert. Go ahead, join as a panelist.
Okay, please accept the promotion when you get the prompt on your screen. Thank you.
Nice
Great, we
build, Dan.
see
If
you.
this needs sorting out, we could do the next application and come back.
All right, we've got Robert and he's unmuted. And can you
Oh.
share your presentation, please?
Sorry, we work with Robert, but we're not Robert.
Robert.
Who's presenting?
Robert's supposed to be on the call.
Well, there's
I suggest that we
Robert,
move on
second
and
Robert
let them
Strong
sort
there.
it out.
Mark, there's another.
I see.
We're promoting the other Robert Strong.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the one. Then go ahead and just mute us for now.
Robert, where are you?
Robert, can you turn your video on?
But he's not there. Maybe he's not sitting there. Walked away.
There it is.
Ah,
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry that was not there before. Okay, can you see the screen now with the presentation?
No,
You have your presentation up somewhere on your computer.
Yes, I do.
Okay, now you go to the Zoom screen.
Yes.
On the bottom of the Zoom screen, there should be a button that says share. I think it's green.
Okay.
Click on that once. Ah,
I'm
Some-
sorry.
something good's happening. Okay, there
okay,
you go.
we're good. We're good and you may start. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the building, 427 Broadway, also known as 45 Howard. I just try and proceed to another screen. There are a number of different pictures from different angles of the building. And these are pictures of the rear yard as it exists now. And we're enclosing it with a egress stair. The building only has one means of egress, and we're adding a second means of egress. It's easier to place it in this rear yard than it is to make a major structural alteration of the building inside. These are elevations of the existing rear yard now. There are a couple of plans. This is showing plans of the stair. It goes from the cellar to the roof, and it is enclosed in rock wall panels, which are fire rated. There are sections of the building showing the bulkhead at the roof in pink. And here we have a mock-up of where it's going to be above the rear yard, with pictures from the street showing that it's not visible at all from any angle. Again, these are some photographs showing the sight lines and axonometrics showing where the rear yard stair enclosure is, with the bulkhead in pink. And then these are sections of how the stair works with the building. These are just more details. It's enclosed in a rock wall panel that creates the firewall enclosure. It's essentially, Landmark says that since it's enclosed, if it was an open stair, they would approve it without a public hearing. But since it's enclosed, we need to have a public hearing. It's enclosing the rear yard. It's standard for most buildings in this district in Soho to be built the entire lot. Most of them were originally manufacturing buildings. Is there any particular screen you'd like to see again?
I have several questions.
What does it look like?
Is the use is being changed?
The use of the building now is office with retail on the first floor. We are changing one floor, the top floor, to a restaurant, and the second floor will be a meeting hall. The second and third floors will remain office.
And then what's causing this to need to be done?
Well, the building needs a second means of egress. It has a fire escape.
Oh, you're simply improving the building then?
Yeah, we're improving the building's viability. There is a fire escape, but it's not a very good fire escape. It's not even a commercial fire escape.
And we're interested to know the sort of mechanics of this. The area where it's being built is vacant at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, it's an empty space.
So that only the entrances from the building into this stair structure will need to be constructed.
There isn't any street. There's you can see my arrow. There's an entrance here.
No, I'm talking about the, we could go back to whatever best illustrates the stairs. Maybe
Well,
I think the drawing, the vertical draw there. Okay.
So there is a lobby that exits onto Howard Street.
No,
and-
my question is, from the building, you're going to cut doors in from the building into the stairwell.
The doors will be where they're existing now are windows, and
Yeah,
those
okay.
windows will be enlarged to the floor. So we're
And
not-
is this completely supported within the building? Does it touch any neighboring buildings or any neighboring anything?
No, it doesn't touch the neighboring buildings. It's, there's a 1 inch separation between this structure and the adjacent buildings. The structure of the stair is supported independently from the building. It has its own footings, and the stair structure supports the rock wall panels that provide the fireproof enclosure.
Okay, thank you. Susan?
Yeah, let's go to the public. And I imagine there will be several people who will have questions about the structural aspects of this, particularly the safety of this construction to the adjacent buildings. So as you speak, I will be aggregating the questions so that we can just ask them once and not have a redundancy there. So okay. All right. Well, let's start with Laura. And then we'll go to Pete.
I'm sort of having a coughing fit right now, so can someone else go? Sorry.
Oh, of course, Laura, no worries. Pete can go next.
Thank you.
Sure.
And 2 minutes, please, for each person.
Okay, so am I up?
Yep. I don't see you. I can hear you.
Okay, very good. There you go. Maybe you can see me now.
Now I can see you.
So thank you all very much for paying attention to this. You should have received 2 letters from Soho Architects, Henry Smith Miller and Alexander Naratoff, who in their professional capacity as architects very familiar with buildings in Soho, have laid out any number of concerns, problems, questions. So I do hope that you have those letters before you.
We do.
And great. It was represented that the doorways will be, the doorways from the staircase will take the place of existing windows, but the drawings presented in the presentation materials tell a different story. The doorways are in a different configuration in that wall. There is a big question about what was referred to as the footings. It was said that the staircase goes all the way down to the cellar. Apparently now the air shaft has a fully built out cellar and a fully built out first floor, it seems. It's hard to tell from the drawings provided. And therefore that would require demolition of a portion of the building to create that open staircase from the roof all the way down to the bottom of the cellar. That is not presented in the drawings.
Okay, if you would just wind up, please, as much as you can.
Well, is my time up? You're telling me my time's up?
Let him finish.
Chanel, let's let Pete finish.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
There's also just no information at all about what kind of foundation will need to be put in to carry the weight of this incredibly massive amount of steel. We're told that it doesn't attach to the building next door at all. It's not clear if it is meant to hang off the existing brick wall of the 427 Broadway 45 Howard building. All of this is of concern because, as is noted in the information you've been sent, this building is currently under a stop work order because of improper work, unpermitted work, which has resulted in the removal of the professional certification for 1 year until April 2027. And that is because, unfortunately, the applicant failed to get permits for work that was done. And there is a big concern among the neighboring buildings that such carelessness could result in a bad situation for the neighboring buildings, such as we have seen on 5th Avenue near 8th Street, as we saw at 74 Grand Street, as we've just seen where certain things are not done correctly in Midtown. So in terms of focusing on the preservation of the historic district, attention really does need to be paid to the manner in which this work, which is now somewhat vague and not fully outlined, is planned to be done. So I'm hoping that the architects who submitted the paperwork are here and able to speak. I will step back now, but thank you for the attention.
Yeah,
And we do
thanks.
have all the written materials in great detail of essentially what you've said. So
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and
have those for reference.
of course, we've read the letters and I've already aggregated some of those questions before I even came here into what we will ask the applicant. Thanks, Pete. All right, Laura, are you
Susan,
feeling
can I-
better?
Not really, but I'll just say Pete said most of what, I'm sorry, most of
Wait,
what
Susan?
I was going to
Susan?
say, but I clearly can't any longer.
Hi,
Sorry
Susan.
about that.
Okay,
I have a follow-up question for Pete. Pete, can you repeat the examples of harmful construction that you were referencing?
Yes, 74 Grand Street on the northeast corner of Grand and Worcester collapsed because the building, it's one building in from the corner. The building on the corner undermined the foundation, and that building started to tilt. The old building next door started to tilt. It had to be vacated of all the occupants, and ultimately it was dismantled and then rebuilt a few years ago. The other one I'm speaking about is at the corner, the northwest corner of 8th Street and 5th Avenue, where a new building is just nearing completion, a couple of doors to the north. But when they were digging the foundation for that building, it threw the old corner building, which is similar in age to these on this block, off, forcing vacate order for all the residents of that building. So, when you're dealing with buildings that are 100 and 150 years old, the foundations are, they need good attention.
Excuse
let's
me.
not forget Gay Street.
Gay Street, yeah, 14 Gay Street. Thank you.
Exactly, that as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, let's keep on with the public session. We've got somebody here in the room with us. Please come and join us and tell us your name. I know you've been here before recently.
Good evening. My name is Marie Dormuth. I live at 49 Howard Street. I was the former zoning chair of Board 2. And I've had the pleasure of living on Howard Street for 45, maybe even 50 years. This is a dangerous application. It's not thought out. It's missing things. We see a diagram of a big cement slab as a footing. We don't know how this work is going to be done. We don't know how the soil is going to be tested, what the water table is. And what happens is when they start to excavate, water pours in. We've seen this during renovations of 53 Howard and also on the building directly across from 45 Howard, where they begin to do the work and a virtual lake forms and cracks can appear in the adjoining buildings and cause them, as Pete said, to lean. We all remember 74 Grand Street because landmarks preservation was deeply involved. They did work next door. The building began to lean 30 inches under the care of landmarks preservation. They tried to prop the building up. The occupants had to leave. They lost everything. And sadly, in 2009, Landmarks Commission had to approve the total demolition of the building. And they collected little pieces of the cast iron. I don't want that to be our future. I'm also concerned about the stop work order and what the site, the construction site looks like now. I brought some pictures. I'm an art professor and I'm ashamed of my pictures, but this is judgment. We're glad you brought them. This is the shaft, which is just an open hole, which is a 150-year-old exterior court that they want to put the staircase in. Right now, there's a metal door with a push bar that goes to a broken, oh my God, fire escape, missing rungs. Nothing is protected. There's no notification of what this, people could hop from roof to roof and see a metal door and fall in. They're careless, and Lightning Society has proved that they have been irresponsible. And the presentation was a little slippery there, that it's offices. They're proposing a nightclub with 900 people. And that is not a concern of this committee, but it's a concern when they start presenting it as office buildings.
Directly.
Yeah. So I'm asking the committee to deny this proposal based on the fact that it's lacking specific information about how this work would be done.
Yeah.
And also that it's an application that shouldn't stand alone. It should be part of the Department of Buildings analysis of their request for an entire use change for the building, which is hanging in the works right now. So I hope the Landmarks Committee of Board 2 will focus on our preservation like you did in the past. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you very much. We appreciate your testimony. Is there anybody else in here who would like to speak?
Should I leave these beautiful pictures with you?
Sure, thank you.
And that's the.
Mark, I'll give
George
these
Miller.
to you later. Maybe we can add them to our file. Okay, great. Thank you.
I'd like to say that we're waiving the time restriction because the committee is getting very valuable information to help it in its deliberation.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Are there others, Susan?
Is there anybody else? There's nobody else in the room. Is there anybody else online from the public? Or at this point, we'll open that up to any community board member who might be with us. So last chance.
And I have questions for the applicant when you finish with the public's question.
Nope, no other hands.
Oh, Pete Davis got his hand up.
Oh, Pete,
You can unmute.
unmute, please. Unmute yourself.
Yep. No, I know that there were other folks from Howard Street that were planning to be on the Zoom. I'm not sure where they are, but they had concerns. And so one thing I would like to point out is that the plans that you have been presented are dated October 2025. The photos that you're being presented are from October 2025, and Marie's photos were taken this week. So when they say these photos are the current condition of the building, that is not true, because the photos were taken before the unpermitted work was done, which resulted in the stop work order, which resulted in the loss of the professional certification. So, as Marie said, things are a little slippery here. And
Yeah, clearly there are some sequencing issues. Yeah.
great. Okay.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah. And we've got a file of letters from other members of the community as well. So perhaps some of the people who you expected to be here sent letters instead. All right, Chanel, would you like me to, do you want to, shall I ask the question?
You take care of that, and I'll ask my.
Okay.
Susan?
I'm just trying to
Susan?
get my notes straight.
Susan,
Yes, Sean?
could I just make a statement now of correction
Correction of what?
of something that the applicant stated? He stated that the buildings in Soho have basically no rear yard extension. That's not true. There's 85 feet of building and it's generally 15 feet rear yard, not 1 inch.
We do know that. Thank you, but thank you for pointing it out. Yeah. All right, well, obviously, all of these questions center around the issue of potential damage to neighboring structures, and they all deal with the fact that there are both two things going on here. Utterly inadequate information regarding the structural aspect of things, so that we can't even begin. I mean, obviously, we're not engineers, nor is it our job to do that, but we certainly can see that there are major holes here in terms of the structural parts. So why don't we start there with questions regarding the footings, with questions regarding the foundation, how the weight will be carried, whether the soil will be tested, what the stability of the soil, and issues having to do with water tables. I think those are these are, huge concerns for both the committee and for the public. So, Robert Strong, if you would be kind enough to respond to that.
Yes. First of all, the footings are, this is a lightweight steel structure. Steel is much lightweight compared to heavy masonry. And so we aren't really adding a lot of weight. There is an entire structural plan. Landmarks did not ask us to include that in the presentation, but there are footings which fall in the center of the yard. They don't touch the adjacent footings, and we really don't have to dig down very far because it's.
How far do you have to dig down?
I would say only a foot. The footings have to only be about 2 feet deep, and of course, depending on we're doing soil testing, but it's lightweight, so we don't have a lot of issues with major structural footings, and the footings are in the center. They don't touch any of the adjacent buildings. I addressed that. There were questions about the doorway where the stair enters the building, and those are shown on the proposed north section, which is this second one in from the left. Those are where the doorway entrances are. The other windows are not being affected. And we're not attaching to any of the adjacent buildings. Did I answer all the questions?
In a sort of vague way, but we will of course express our serious concerns about all of this to the commission. I mean, and it's one thing to say that it's a lightweight steel structure, but clearly it's there to accommodate some, public assembly issues having to do with your change of use. So it's one thing if the staircase weighs X number of whatever it weighs, but if you've got 500 people leaving or 400 people or 100 people leaving in the case of an emergency, that's obviously a lot more weight too. So these are concerns that I think we will all share. We've seen some seriously regrettable issues. And I think the second issue that the public has to do with the credibility of Lightning Society, and the credibility of the whole process here, given the history of the stop work order and violations and all of that. So it's very difficult to be in a situation where we're attempting to evaluate something with inadequate information coming from, a business, the Lightning Society, that frankly, does not have a lot of credibility here. So I hope you can understand why we feel that we must be extra diligent here in how we approach this application.
I understand, but there has been some misrepresentation. As I said, there is one floor has a restaurant, which is 200 people maximum, and the other floor has a meeting room. These are all accessory to the offices, but the primary use of the building is going to be offices from the second to fifth floor. Anything else is misinformation. Additionally, there was no professional certification on this project. So I don't know where that came from. There may have been some issue with professional certification in the prior history before the current C of O, but I'm just not sure what that's about, but we are not professionally certifying any part of this project.
Right, but we have been told by by reputable sources that the building has received recent violations for work without a permit, that some unpermitted demolition took place, resulting in a stop work order, and that the improper work resulted in professional certification at the building being placed on restricted status, as Pete Davies mentioned, until April of 2027. You must be aware of that.
No, I'm not aware of that, but we're not doing any professional certification, so I don't understand what the impact is.
Well, I think the impact is at very least on credibility, not your credibility, but just of the, of the Lightning Society and the way they conduct it, and their relationship to other construction projects. Anyway, I think that those were substantially the questions that came up in both the letters and in the testimony you heard this evening. So I think we can now move on to if there are any members of the community board who want to speak who are not on the committee. I don't see any, so we'll go to the committee. I see Arturo had his hand.
Could I speak first? Because there's something that
questions first, and then
I want to correct something from the testimony already, and then we'll do the committee's questions.
Okay, go ahead, Chanel, please.
Okay. The question of use. If there's no restaurant on the top floor now and a restaurant is being introduced, why is that not a change of use?
It is a change of use, but
Okay, then,
I'm
I'm sorry, your
just- I'm-
testimony before was that there is no change of use.
The primary, I said the primary use of the building is not changed, which is the primary use is office. I'm sorry if that was not expressly stated, but there is a change of use of 2 floors, but the primary use of the upper floors remains office. So there would be a roof and 2 floors that are office designated, and then 2 floors which are changed, but the primary use remains office.
I understand the primary use by space, but these are places of public assembly, are they not?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, and there have not been places of public assembly prior to this modification.
No, I'm not aware of that, unless it was on the first floor.
Okay, so there is in fact a significant change of use for public assembly where there was none, or certainly the restaurant part. Okay, we'll take note of that. Susan, I'm sorry, please go on with the.
Oh, okay, Arturo had his hand up first, so Arturo, please.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. On the design of the stairwell, this is probably for Robert. Why did you choose to go with solid steps and landing treads as opposed to example bar grading?
Because it's an egress stair. So I believe code requires it to be solid.
Okay, and so just for my clarification then, or for the committee and for everybody else listening, is the intention of the stairwell purely for emergency purposes, or is it also to be used as regular means of egress? For example, will stairwell doors have emergency exit signage and corresponding measures? Or is this stairwell that will be accessible and can be used at any time?
The stairwell is separated from the spaces with emergency exit signs and fire-rated self-closing doors. So it's an emergency exit stair. It's not used as a means of entrance to the spaces. There's an elevator and another stair within the building that exits on Broadway.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Arturo. Anita?
Yes. Is this addition visible from anywhere, the other streets? I'm trying to visualize what this looks like. Do you have a material sample?
It's a rock wool panel, so it's a fire-rated panel filled with rock wool. It's a type of insulation, and then it's a metal panel on the outside that'll have a bronze-coated paint.
Okay, and from your drawings, it's the bulkhead is not visible from anywhere.
No.
Did you go down the street and so on? Because I see there's one view from the south.
Yeah, so we constructed like a limits of where the bulkhead will stick up on the roof. It's painted orange and it shows the measurements. This is standard for landmarks. And then we took pictures from the most remote possible places, up Broadway, down Broadway, and also on Howard Street by Crosby. And the orange is not visible from any of those locations.
And one last question. Where on the ground floor, where do you exit out once you get to the bottom?
You exit out the exit at 45 Howard Street. There's a lobby, existing lobby with an elevator at that location. And our stair exits, comes out a window that's in the back of that lobby, comes into the lobby space and exits out the existing stair and doors at 45 Howard.
It exits through the lobby?
Yes.
That's it.
Anything else, Anita?
No.
Okay, thanks. Sean Ryan, have you got any
No, this time,
questions?
thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, Chenault, I think we've asked all our questions.
Okay, I'd just like to speak to the public. We are well aware of the problems that you've spoken about, and we begin to see other problems as the presentation has come, and be assured that we will have our usual firm deny unless with any number of provisions that would need to be met in order for there to be a positive recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can move on now.
Thank you for your time.
The
You're
next
welcome. Thank you.
application is 363 Bleecker Street to extend the existing roof stair bulkhead. I'm sorry, Susan, do you have it before you? My copy has been cut off here, right in the middle of the.
Yeah,
Could you just
363.
read it?
Yeah. 363 Bleecker Street. The application is to extend the exiting roof stair bulkhead and add roof safety railings all around the roof.
Well,
Thank you.
we just got logged out. I'm sorry, that's me. So can I log back in and we'll get started? I'm gonna help my friend Tori here, with this presentation.
Yeah.
Great, sorry about that. That was in the calendar, right?
Here, come and sit
Yeah, come
here.
sit up, Corey. So, and then
We
we'll
can-
start the whole spiel and we'll keep it quick. I'm sorry, where was it? You go to 16. Why doesn't it come up, right? You see it? 16. Okay, hold on. Here, Zoom, right? Corey. Just a slow, we're getting the computer. Okay, so we're logged in, and if we could be made a panelist, as Corey Sherman could be made a panelist. Corey Sherman here. Okay. Okay, joining. Okay. Camera's on. Can you hear me? I won't.
You're muted.
Oh, should we use, I thought we were using this mic for that.
You have
Okay.
to unmute yourself.
Okay,
And then,
no, I should not, that I'm here, okay.
okay.
And I'll share, and then I'll just do my introduction to Corey here, and then he'll take over. This is a gift to Corey. Hopefully a gift to everybody in the community. That's what we like to say at my, where I come from. Okay, where do we go? Okay, sorry. So my name is Jason Friedman. I'm actually the chair of Community Board One's Landmark Committee, and I am also the architect and winner of the Lucy Moses Prize for the rebuilding of 74 Grand Street. Complete coincidence.
Wow.
That's me.
Crazy.
Okay, I won that
So
award.
we have two Lucy Moses winners.
Oh, tell me.
on that side of the table.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that was a gift, but also an amazing experience. We rebuilt that building from scratch, and horrible things happened there. Okay, so 363 Bleecker Street. While it is today a 4-story building with a fire escape, it once was a 2-story pitched roof building. We don't have a picture of that, obviously. Then a 3-story building, and then a 4-story building. So the picture on the left is the 1940s tax photo. And the picture on the right, identifying our building in the pink, bright pink, is 363 Bleecker Street. It's one building off the corner of Charles Street, 4-story building, covered in stucco with the fire escape. Let me give you a picture that's better of the building of today. We have 16 slides here. Okay. And look, just for a second, let me tell you, we'll skip around so you can see where exactly the building looks like today. That's probably, okay. So today, the building looks like the picture, sorry. I'll tell you the page. Where are we? Oof.
Making me dizzy.
No, but I'll get there. We'll restart. Okay. You see this building because it doesn't look so great. The building on the right there, okay, it's a stuccoed over building with a fire escape in beige. And I'll just pinpoint that picture on the left because the fire escape's there in the 40s, but it's definitely a labor law fire escape. And you can see that the windows are 6/1. Okay, we're going to put 6/1 windows back there. Today, the windows are 1/1 vinyl. They're garbage, complete garbage. Okay, so those are coming out. That's number one. But let's get back to just in kind of overall. I'm just going to go back to slide 2.
Sorry.
Yeah. 3.
One versus 1/1.
Okay, the window, the way, yeah. So the way that these windows is perfect to stop.
See it.
Right here, we'll just stop here because this is my existing and Corey's existing. All right, so you see the windows from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor. They're 1 pane over 1 pane. Well, in the 1940s, the building had 6 panes over 1. And since it's special, we don't see that a lot. We want to put that back. We want to take this building back to its most significant period of historical period. And that's really basically the early 20th century. You could call it 1920, you could call it 1930 or 40. It's not exactly as we saw in the 40s. That's why I'm saying early, because that's like 40s. It was probably different than that photograph a little bit, but that's what we're trying to take this building back to. And that is the parts of the buildings that you can see from the street on Bleecker Street. So not up for a public hearing is the removal of this fire escape. So that comes off. The front door you see down there, which is kind of got a weird configuration, 2 panels. We're going to change that to just a 6-panel solid door with a transom. Something traditional, but a little bit more secure looking for the residential entry. This is a 2-family building with a commercial property below at the bottom. It's going to remain a 2-family commercial at the bottom building. No change in that. At the top, if you can see on the left of the existing facade, there is a mechanical or a stair bulkhead, okay? And it's in that 1940s photo if it's on any of your sheets. We're going to keep that bulkhead, that rectangle up there, remove the skylight because we don't want a leaky skylight. And we're going to add another rectangular bulkhead, which you can go, you see that right-hand drawing. It's the part that doesn't have the crosshatch. It has that triple window. And it's going to be distinctly its own rectangle. I'll show you in the plan. So that it always, from now, if we get it to eternity, you'll have the old bulkhead and you'll always be able to see that there was a new bulkhead. There'll always be that kind of like what happened in before 2024. The same way we kind of have that mystery of what happened in 1920 was different than what happened in 1940. But we don't have a lot of pictures from 1920, so we're not able to know that, okay? So I'm gonna just move on, and we're gonna dig into, I guess there's just a little bit of a delay, so let me expect that. We're gonna dig into this rooftop, okay? So you see here is we're in this pink here, in the bottom right corner, one building off Charles Street. And we are at 1 story taller, plus a bulkhead already, than that corner building on Charles and Bleecker Street. We already are that. So that means from everywhere on Bleecker Street and Charles Street, you're already seeing this bulkhead. Today's bulkhead, it's there. And that's right here, this little square here, this little square here. Okay, next slide. I showed you the front facade existing and proposed. This is the rear facade. So again, we have that existing bulkhead, but now it's on the other side with the skylight. Skylight comes off, existing rectangle stays, albeit we put a window there, and then we have our new rectangle, okay? And it's distinctly different because we don't change this rectangle, and this rectangle is 8 inches taller than this rectangle. Why? Because Corey, who I'm lucky to know, is the owner and operator and preservation of this building, and he wants to have this roof. Why is he doing all this? To be able to have access to the roof. Not to throw huge parties for 190 people, to get access to his mechanical equipment in the back, to have a place to
That's what
sunbathe.
they all say.
The footprint of this building is about 70 feet by, what's the footprint?
17 by 35.
The entire footprint is 17 by 35? Is that a joke?
No.
Okay,
No, this is a
Right.
tiny little building.
yeah,
I know
okay,
you
so
are.
I didn't know that, because I met Corey yesterday, and I just, fell in love with this project. Okay, so, let's take it to the next slide. Okay, this is an important one. At the first floor, it's a commercial space. I told you, an existing commercial space. It's not built full. There's like, what is it? How big is that court?
12 by 17.
A 12 by 17 rear yard. Well, we're a corner lot, so zoning allows, of course, for that to be built full. Corey wants to build it full, give his amazing tenant a little bit more square footage, hopes that they sign a new lease for 30 years. And you cannot see this area from the street. And it's just completely kind of in keeping with what anybody would do in the district. If you couldn't see it, you guys will be the judge of it.
Excuse me, Jason, but
Yeah.
that's not part of this application.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Our drawings don't match your drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a
Okay, could we
6 over
take a
6,
moment to
Okay.
and we
state,
don't have any
I
additions.
think that's from probably from 3 days ago. But these are.
could we just take a moment here to state what is added to the application that we don't have?
We'll go right to the first page, and I have what's at staff level written. Well, you don't look
No,
at
but we
yours.
have
Okay, all right,
more
well,
information. Yeah.
Let's see what's on your first.
this is like, I see, this is maybe like a month old, and I definitely sent later stuff. I mean, I'm just seeing, I don't even have any of those things but first page, let's go what it is, okay? It's not gonna be controversial, guys, don't worry. Corey wouldn't do that to me. Okay, so,
Just a moment, please. Is the rear yard addition is certainly something that requires public review.
I'm gonna outline everything that's for public review and for not, and it's listed on the screen right now, and I will list it slowly, and then you can ask every question about it.
I'll take a screenshot, it's okay.
Okay, well, should we just go over it quickly? Like, or can everyone see it? And is there any questions of what we're here for? We're here for everything. Ask any questions you want about any of
Well, we
this.
have a very specific description of the work, so if it's changing.
It isn't changing.
Now,
It isn't
in my
changing.
experience, the building, the ground floor would not require landmarks approval. It's allowable, but I don't know, do you have that on your list?
It is, yeah, it is actually not allowable by the law of landmarks, and I'll tell you why. There's something called the adding on effect. You can't just say, I want to do this and this and this. We're already here for 2 things. Once you go over that, it has to go to a public hearing. But we're here to talk about any of this. This building, we're
Well,
looking
we
at.
don't see the addition.
That's then confine the presentation to the things that are before us.
Okay.
It's just become impossibly
Okay.
confusing.
Chanel, can I have a question? There are significant materials in the presentation by the presenter that we don't have access to that are being shown to us for the first time right now. I'm a little uncomfortable reviewing this application without having this presentation. There's a lot of diagrams and designs and examples that are not the materials that were presented on the website.
I mean, we have so many emailing Florence like 50 times. But listen, you guys are the bosses. I'm not here.
Let's don't have a back and forth about that. Finish the presentation, and if we feel that it's deficient to the point that we can't make a decision, we'll ask that you come back. So let's just finish.
Just follow what he said.
Yeah, okay, so I just was talking about the horizontal extension, which you can only see from space. You cannot see it from anywhere. But I think the best thing would just to zoom right in on the roof bulkhead, right? Is that what everybody's kind of most interested in? And let's look at a three-dimensional version of that. So here at the bottom on the right, you can see that there's the hatched pattern on the first floor showing the 17 by 20 or 12 by 20 or 17.
12 by 17.
12 by 17 horizontal extension, which you cannot, see from anywhere. And then on the top, you can see this rectangle, which is truncated in the front. And you might say, well, why would you truncate it in the front? And the reason is because we didn't want to have any visibility of this new rectangle, this new part of the mechanical bulkhead over the front facade from Bleecker Street. That's just a standard of which, people hold preservationists to. And so by truncating it on the right side, you don't see it from Bleecker Street when you're in front of the building. So when you're in front of the building, if we would be so honored to have this approved, you would not see any part of the top that I show as a hatch on the top from the street. Now, as you go what we're calling south on Bleecker Street, which would be lower numbers,
Yes.
you already see, and we'll show you this in our mock-up photos, you already see the existing bulkhead. And so as you go south, we will demonstrate to you that you will see, in addition to that, this kind of new rectangle, but it's going to look exactly like the old rectangle.
Okay, can we get on to the pictures? So
Yes, you can. We've got the pictures, which everything's mocked up. We'll go straight to the pictures. I'm going to start on Charles Street, okay? Because
and can you please enlarge the whichever one you're of
okay. This is two pictures. Corey, take the pictures in the winter because everyone's going to say you can't see anything in the summer.
Okay, just explain what we're seeing.
Okay, this is a view from Charles Street of the mock-up in the winter. And I'm accentuating that Corey's accentuated that with the pink and hatch so that there's no question of what is being proposed.
Please enlarge the one that's showing that.
Okay, I shall. Okay. Do you see what I'm doing? That's the rectangle from Charles Street in the winter. Now, this is the rectangle in the summer. Okay, just because that's true. And we were not trying to do anything but be completely truthful with our friends at CB2 here and give them all the information. Okay, and I've zoomed in also, just so you can see, it's all zoomed in. Can I go to the next view?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
We're ready. We're ready.
We're not slamming the fire stair into your foundations here. This is the view from north on Bleecker Street. And what I want to say is the area in the black is the bulkhead I already told you exists. The area.
Enlarge, please, the one you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, here's winter with no mock-up, winter with mock-up accentuated. Okay, you can see here's that canted wall, but it really doesn't look like anything more than the extension of what's there. That's our kind of what we're, saying. And then here is in the summer. Sorry. Here's in the summer. And we just took a nice picture of the mock-up. I'm going to zoom in there. You can see the visibility. There's no question about it, right? But it does kind of look like the same thing as it does today.
Okay, please just present it and we'll make the evaluation about it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now this is why we did the cant, right? So if you look at these two photos, I'm not showing you directly in front of the building because there will be no visibility directly in front of the building. That's why we're doing this cant. But when you go past the building, you can only cant it so much. So what is this point here? This point is 15 feet back from the front of the building, okay? 15 feet back. It's only 37-foot deep building. And here it is in the summer, okay? And I got you zoomed in and I accentuated it with the netting with my pink and there it is, okay? Here it is. And here's the long view, okay? In the winter, further south on Bleecker Street to the lower numbers, and even further south on Bleecker Street in the winter. So there's no question that these trees are, blocking any. Okay, then let me see this. This is from further south on Bleecker Street And it shows how our mock-up is even happening on top of the mock-up that's already there. That is our mock-up there. It's just gonna look like more of our mock-up, or arguably exactly the same. You're gonna make the judgment. And then here it is in the summer. You can't even see it because it's so far away.
Okay, the summer is out.
Yeah, I hate the summer
We don't
too.
need to show them. We're
Okay.
only interested in the winter view.
That's why we did it 6 months ago. Okay, and then let me just leave you on this, and you guys will go. This is our dream rendering. This is Corey's dream, a building that doesn't have a fire escape, has a new safe door on the first floor, has beautiful 6/1 windows that will last forever because they're going to be aluminum clad black, and this penthouse and railing on the roof that you can't even see. This thing's blocking it. How stupid that is. Okay, this thing, you can't even see it, but you won't see it because it's set back 15 feet. And what's there is already not visible, and that's it. Sorry, thank you.
Before, just a couple of points of information before we go any further. You just called it a penthouse. Is it a bulkhead or is it a penthouse?
It's a stair bulkhead.
Okay, but you just said penthouse.
Strike it.
Okay, consider it struck. Understood. What about the railing?
Yes.
Can we see any
Okay.
information about the railing?
Yeah, I have tons of information. So first of all, let's start with this photo. It's not visible from over this view, period. It's set back. And this is something someone taught me a long time ago, actually my mentor, and I'll show you the detail. It's a great railing detail. And what the railing does, I just
We
need the
would
sec-
like to just see the presentation and see the
Okay.
rock up of the railing.
Here's the railing, sir. Here's the railing. It's called a canted railing. And what it does is it's canted 120 degrees, so you don't see it from the street. And then on the sides, it's not canted. Why? Because we need to have a safety railing, and it's going to be a wire railing, and it's going to be a little bit visible, but the building would be safe. So let me zoom out just for 1 second. This is a section of the building with the railing. This is the back of the building, and this is the front of the building. And that's why we have this angle, so that you don't see it. It says roof safety railing not visible over front facade parapet from Bleecker Street.
Do you have a floor?
Is there not a mock-up of, is that not incorporated in the markup?
Yes, it is. Everything's mocked up. Yeah, floor plan. Here you go. Okay, sorry. And I'll stop. Okay. Ask me if any questions. You have existing roof stair bulkhead on the left and proposed roof stair bulkhead on the middle. And then just on the right would be the roof of that. And it's two different colors. Why? Because remember, we're keeping the left existing.
We understand. We
Okay.
understand. We're asking you about what we don't understand, which is the material for the railing.
It's a wire railing with a metal cap. So it's painted.
Do you have a drawing of that somewhere?
Sure, right here. I'll just zoom right in. That's the beauty of the computer. And it's pretty much the same in the front, except for the, okay. So it's got this metal bar here, right? Painted black, but you don't see it from the street. And then these are wires, circular wires of, less than 1/8 diameter. And it's connected to the back side of the parapet. You see this connection? You don't see any of this from the street on Bleecker Street, so that it's like it doesn't exist.
Can we please see the mock-up so that we can see that it's where it's visible and not?
Can you see the mock-up?
Show a mock-up.
Show just a picture of the mock-up?
No, what you haven't.
Okay, sure.
Oh, you mean the actual up close?
It's just I have that on my computer, obviously, but I've accentuated here because you can't see it. Like it's just like it's mesh, like if you zoom in, it's here, and yes, it's up every day. And
Find out what you really want.
okay, sorry. Yeah, I should shut up.
That's a good idea.
Is it that we can't see the railing in a photograph? Is that
Right. It's hard with the blazing sun to catch the wooden railing with the blue tape on it, but it's there today, tomorrow.
First of all, we have no orange netting, which is the standard.
We
And
do have it.
So we have to figure out what we're looking at.
No, it
Can you
is
just
up.
draw the can you please draw the line of the top of the railing with your cursor?
Yes, it would be right here. Okay, sorry, I will get it right on there. How about this? You're right. Here. Just a normal height, as low as possible, as long as it's 3'6" from the roof that's there, where we have the mechanical equipment in the back. 3'6" off the roof.
We should say at this
What
point,
we're seeing is this new construction behind a 3-foot railing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Is there more? That move on, please, if there is.
No, this is the crux of the project, and the extension of the roof stair bulkhead is.
We understand what you've said so far, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to stop
Is there
talking.
more that you need to say?
I hope not. I hope you'll receive it and give us your
Okay.
comments.
Thank you. Susan will move on to the questions.
Okay, let's go to the public. Is there anybody here online who has a question or a concern? We'll just double check that. Okay, anybody in the room? No? Okay, anybody here from the board with any questions or comments? Don't see any, so we'll move to the committee. Chenault, do you have some questions? Any other than what you
None
already asked?
before, no.
All right, Anita.
I was just curious how you're handling the fire department access.
Okay, so it's a 2-family, right? So we only need one means of egress, and it's a 4-story building because it's an existing.
No, I'm talking about the access on the roof, the 6.
Oh, it's less than 75 feet, so a ladder reaches it from the street, and all you need is that access. The back is a mechanical terrace, and we don't need access to it. And also, you're actually truthfully that close to the corner that the ladder can also hit the building. So we don't foresee that being an issue. We don't want to add a ladder. We don't want to put people on the roof of this thing. It's not meant to be occupied. It's
No, the
just.
fire department has very specific.
I understand that, but
We're not talking
we're
about
trying
other
to
people.
we're trying to tease it in a certain direction. Less is more philosophy, and it's really just a bulkhead to get access to the roof, improved access to the roof. It's not.
Are you saying that a fire ladder across the addition is not required?
Correct.
Okay.
Sean, do you have any questions?
I don't. I'm still trying to thank you for putting up my questions.
Of course.
Check it in with you.
That's fine. I appreciate that.
All right. Arturo, please.
Yeah, I think I just want to reemphasize the comment that I made earlier. Given that this application is presented as significantly different from what was on the public agenda, I want a copy of the new presentation, and I would recommend we move this to another meeting.
Thanks, Arturo. I share your concerns here, and we'll talk about that in our business session for sure. I just went back into my emails to see if there was something that Florence had sent that perhaps I had missed, and there was no such thing there.
When was the one that you got from? Just so I.
We don't know. It's
Okay,
just on.
I'll send you the most current one. That's what you asked. You guys go do your thing. I'm sorry
Anyway,
for that.
okay.
Guys,
Thank you. I don't think anybody has any more questions.
send it to Florence. Is that just
No,
do that?
send it to me.
Okay, me at what?
No, go.
Oh, I see. He's not me.
Mark,
Okay.
no, his name is Mark. He's the
I
district
know his
manager.
voice changed.
Starts with an
Florence
M.
has been on top of this, even though she's been tending her.
I love Florence. I know Florence maybe 20 years, so I would never say anything wrong with her. She's a doll, and I'm sorry it didn't get to you
That's
guys.
all right.
I apologize. That's all I can do. It's not professional at all. I'm so sorry. I'll have a talk with Corey, obviously. Okay. Oh, I'll just do this when I leave. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Shall we come back if you guys want to hear more, as if it's like on the.
I have no more questions.
Okay.
Sorry, we'll talk
We have
about
to
that. in
take
our
it out.
business
Thank
session.
you. It was an honor to rebuild.
Thank you, guys.
It was really. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think you still have your presentation.
I will log out, but you can just knock me out too. But I'll do that. Okay. It's just doing.
Okay, ready.
All right, Chanel.
Are we ready for the executive session?
Yes, after a deep cleansing breath.
Okay, good.
I've taken to drinking water.
Are we doing,
I suggest that we do the applications and then move on to the executive items.
51 Mercer?
I looked at, I have a live link up, and I agree with Arturo about the completeness of the application.
Going about this one.
Wait, are we on 51 Mercer now, Chanel?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the garage door. Well, not really. I don't think it has anything to do with the garage.
Yeah.
I think the problem for me was that there was no transom, that it's like, you know, it's a structural expression that you're carrying a transom above, and you need to articulate that with a horizontal structural member. Right now, it shows a little aluminum window divide supporting all this glass above. So
And the three stacked up is very untransomly.
it really has no vocabulary anywhere, sadly. It's all by itself out in the ocean.
It does
And
seem kind of neither fish nor fowl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sort of something they like. It satisfies the retail. But I think if you're going to do the transom, you have to express it clearly. Or if you want to make it like it was, but they don't want that. They want this. And maybe that also involves a little bit more meat at the bottom of this.
Well, that occurred to me was that, you know, the lack of a bulkhead on the bottom
Makes it very flimsy.
doesn't help,
Yeah.
does not help visually. And I would certainly like to suggest that that be considered.
Garage doors.
And that it comes
It's not
back
really
to
not a
something.
garage door.
It goes up. It's a garage door. It goes
Yeah,
up.
but in terms of the visual vocabulary in the district of a garage door, it's
There's no reason for it to go up, by the way. They've complicated their lives for no benefit from landmarks. There's no, you look at it, you have no way of knowing.
It does not look like a garage door anymore. It looks
No,
like
it-
infill and a hole where the garage door
And
is.
it looks like a typical retail plate glass window. That maybe it should go a little bit more towards what we asked for in
It's
retail.
interesting that we've had two applications lately that look like the existing condition. That's what they were striving for.
That's right, yeah. Who was the
Um,
other one?
I just find it very disturbing,
I would
and
just
I
add
don't
that
believe I can support it.
I would add that I agree with I think that note on the transom and the bulkhead, I think those are good recommendations to maybe articulate those architectural details a little bit more. Otherwise, I think I don't really have a lot of problems with this.
We
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You know, we've had these similar windows presented to us, and we've always asked for bulkheads. Bulkheads are part of the district. Garage doors not necessarily are, but historically, all the buildings had bulkheads underneath.
Yeah.
And if you're going to plate glass show window, then it's got to have a bulkhead, basically.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we don't need to have some, you know, religious devotion to the concept of a garage door at all here, because that ship has kind of sailed. And, you know, it's not such a terribly important building either. And so I think, you know, in terms of just cutting them some slack, at least having something that looks good and looks like it belongs in our district. And I think that in the SoHo-Cast Iron District, and I think that, you know, articulating the bulkhead, articulating the transom more clearly and recommending a bulkhead to give it a little weight at the bottom.
Yeah, that's a start.
But I suggest also treating the top of the, if we're going to agree to the basic large window with the top, that it be treated more like a bulkhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's sitting on something
Because
with something.
it has
give
no delineation of
I think.
why doesn't it continue down, or why doesn't the plate glass go all the way up?
Right, because I mean, if it's just a, you know, a big plate glass window, then there isn't typically that very heavy element on top. So it needs to be balanced.
But you don't think he was maintaining the garage because he thought that was the right thing to do, because it was previously a garage?
I think he was doing it because it was just easier, because it was existing and it would be cheaper to modify that than, I mean, that's completely speculation on my part, but yeah, no, I don't think that there was really any, I didn't sense any deep rationalization for it.
It goes back to they don't want their goods seen through a grid.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what we're dealing with.
You know, we understand.
Are there other details we want to mention without totally redesigning it?
I don't have any. Does anybody else?
On this?
Yeah.
Nope.
Arturo, Sean?
Yep.
Other Sean? Sean,
I'm John.
Sean S, not Sean R.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the Irish were not very original in their naming.
All right. So now we can move to Howard Street. Bum, bum, bum.
If we could first separate all the stuff from the thing itself.
What do you mean?
In a perfect world, is the staircase okay?
Right. But my question is, since I'm relatively new, how broad is the remit? Do we care if we don't like the architect or the person before at a stop order or so on, or is it?
Get better with a mic, please.
Here,
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to understand how broad the remit of landmarks is.
I can explain that.
And I don't want to take us off sideways. Sorry. I don't. Okay.
Pretty succinctly. I think it's a good question.
Okay.
And I think just in terms of how to approach something like this, since it's not something we see, it's not as obvious where our remit would be.
Okay.
But where it is in the protection of the building and in the other buildings around it. Having seen so many examples of things going terribly wrong with people who move forward with projects that they want what they want and they haven't necessarily done their due diligence in terms of the impact on the buildings around it. And there becomes a very strange sequencing thing that happens of DOB has this part and landmarks has that part. And then often, and we've seen a couple of times where things have fallen between the cracks between the two agencies. And because of that, I think that we, in a situation like this, will be particularly concerned in the structural integrity aspect of this as a landmarks issue, in that it potentially, if they haven't done this perfectly, then it potentially can endanger the things around them. And that's how.
And aside from the documented things in this building, we can't ignore the testimony that there is unsavoriness of the sponsor, and the presentation reminded me of some of the hearings before Congress. I had to wrench out of the applicant that a restaurant was a place of public assembly, which is a true statement.
Oh, I mean, he misrepresented even in the course of our questioning.
Yeah. And so we're dealing with a lot of, if you'll excuse the word, sleaziness. And I think that has to be reflected into denying less. And it's
Why not
difficult
just deny?
because the thing itself looks proper, but it's all the engineering, and I'll just make a more elaborate version of what we usually do, including that the engineer is sort of a house engineer of the commission review it, and that it be approved by the Department of Buildings and all those things that we don't usually do in great detail, but certainly seem to be merited here.
All right, Sean Sweeney. You're muted, Sean.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just, it really was disingenuous. He said it's going to be a restaurant. In fact, it's going to be a private club on 2 floors, 425 people on each floor. That's 800 people. And let's say they weigh 100 pounds each. Who weighs 100 pounds each? That's about 80,000 pounds. That's what, 40 tons that could be on that.
And we're getting fatter all the time.
Yeah, I know, I was going to say 200, but I didn't want to.
So Sean, you're saying it's a private club, not a restaurant?
Oh, it's definitely a private club, yeah.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact,
Because,
someone
and that's significant because
there was
a
someone from
restaurant
Soho-
is taken by any normal person to be a place where the public can go and eat food. And a private club is quite different. Okay.
Well,
it was really
I
a
may.
dreadful
If
presentation.
I could explain, one of
Mark
the,
Tiller has something relevant to share.
I see Donna's hand
Yeah,
up.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
too.
and she's gonna, there are actually 2 different uses of this building. I'm pretty sure she'll be able to distinguish it for you.
Okay,
Great.
thanks, Mark.
Sorry.
No, thank you. I just noticed Donna's hand up too. Sean Sweeney, you just wanted to, you wanted to share the club aspect, yes?
yeah, it's definitely one of the principals was involved with Soho House, and one of the other ones was involved with the Burning Man Festival. And he has a private club in Bushwick, these same people. It's going to be a discotheque, basically. A private discotheque.
All right. Yeah,
That's
clearly
good.
that public
Sean,
sector.
just for the record, this sort of thing would be well said in the public session.
What?
So, what you just said, all about the private club thing.
Okay.
Because that's
I'm
valuable
saying it now.
testimony.
Yeah, Donna, I'm sorry that we didn't see your hand earlier.
It's okay. I'm not feeling well, so I was listening in, and I should have, to Chenault's point, spoke up at the public session, so I'm sorry I didn't, but so they've come to our SLA committee for the building as 2 separate SLA applications. The 2nd and 3rd floor are to be a catering establishment with occupancy of a normal occupancy of 225 people between those 2 floors. And when they have a quote unquote special event, however they define that, is 400 people. And then the 4th and 5th floor and the rooftop are the private members club, and that has a regular occupancy of 226 people and a special events occupancy of 464 people. So potentially at any one time, you could have upwards of 860 people in that building. The elevator that they have in the building holds 8 people from what they told us. And then the only other way of getting up to these floors, so that elevator is accessed from street level on Howard Street. And then there's a stairway on Broadway that is a narrow stairway that is existing. I don't know how many people that can handle, but that's why they're doing this, but it's not, it will never I mean, to the plans they showed to us, they presented this as a staircase that people could regularly use. So Arturo, I appreciate your comment asking them about the emergency egress
Yes,
versus
seriously.
the other egress, because it was sort of presented, and it is on the diagrams they presented to us, is people will be using that stairway to get between the second and third floor for the catering establishment, and they will have security there, and then they will use it to get between the upper floors for the private members club. So how it was presented to the SLA committee was that this would be a regularly used staircase. I don't know how that impacts landmarks, but I'm just telling you, that's how that use is that was presented at our committee. And
Can
they
I just
also,
check one thing you've said? I'm making notes. The private members club is 2 floors on the top of the building, correct?
2 floors and the rooftop.
And roof, okay. And the other activity.
And the second and third floor is a catering establishment.
So Donna, is it fair then to say that what they represented at this meeting as office building was represented to SLA as a catering establishment?
And a private members club, because essentially what they
Right.
said to you is the restaurant is on the 5th
Top
floor
floor,
and everything else is offices. Nothing else is offices. I mean, it's
Great,
a
that's
private
really
members
helpful.
club. People may use it in an office-like setting, but it's a private members club. It's not an office. And the capacity is changing right now. I believe the capacity is something like 47 people on each floor and 26 on the roof. Vastly different from what they are proposing to do. Yeah, hang on let me just see if I can get the current certificate of occupancy somewhere in here. But I'm pretty sure it was 47. It's nowhere near what they were proposing when they came to us for their current use. It's like,
And when was that?
that was in May of 2026.
So very recently.
Oh, just
Yeah,
now.
very recently.
All right. Well, I think that's really significant. I really appreciate you bringing that up,
Sure,
Donna.
and I'm sorry I didn't do it
Especially
during the
when you're
public
not
session.
feeling well. No. Really, thank you so very much.
And
Sure.
it further, we don't know that we can trust anything about the presentation now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There
the
is a
exact same thing.
change of use. It is not 2 floors. It's 3 floors involved, and on and on and on.
Yeah. I mean, it's from my committee's point of view, it was 2 separate liquor license applications, but it is the same entity applying for both. They have leased out floors 2 through the rooftop.
And he never mentioned the rooftop.
No.
Of course, all of this just serves to create even more doubt and concern about the safety of this structure from a
Right.
landmarks perspective, much
And-
less from an actual physical human safety.
Right, I mean, that's the SLA committee had serious concerns about the human safety thing. The one other thing that may impact landmarks is that on the diagrams, I believe they showed you the elevator that is in the northwest corner. They're showing that elevator. There's a door on the elevator in the plans that looks like the elevator opens up to the roof. But if that's the case, they need a bulkhead above that. So that, do you
It's
understand?
a machine room. They usually have a machine room, so.
So there's nothing, if you look at the plans, let me just shrink it down. If you look at page, I think it's page 5
My links.
of the plans, is that the rooftop? Yes, that's the rooftop. So if you look in that upper left-hand corner, it says existing elevator. Does it say something like existing passenger elevator machine room? But they were showing us that the elevator goes up there. So the only way people can get up to this roof that they're planning on using is through this. If you look at that, is their new stairway, and then this little bit of stairway. It just, it's For the amount of people they're going back and forth, it seems problematic.
Yeah, and in any event, if they've represented just in May to SLA that staircase is going to be used regularly and not
Yeah.
just emergency exit, I mean, game over.
They-
That's
Just to be clear, they actually, on the plans they submitted to us, submitted it as though the staircase was there. There was nothing until we asked questions and the community brought up that staircase does not even exist right now. Nothing on the plan said proposed staircase or anything like that. They presented it as though the staircase was there.
It's just an enclosure. In other words, like a fire escape or something.
No, they just presented
whole
it as a
thing exists.
staircase. I mean, I can send you the link to the questionnaire that was posted online. It just says there's a staircase going between the floors. Doesn't say it's exterior.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And it doesn't say that
We have
it's
an answer. I don't
non-existent.
think we need to keep going unless you really want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
We've got enough
I
evidence.
think so.
We've got plenty of ammunition here.
yeah, thank you, guys.
And
Thanks.
this is going to be on steroid version of a deny unless.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, or maybe we should just recommend denial because there was so much misrepresentation.
I feel like I'm more comfortable with a recommendation to out and out deny.
And just I understand how rare
And
is
we have adequate not on non-landmarks issues, but on the fact that the entire presentation misrepresented what's being done.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we also, and additionally have concerns about the large the large chasm between what was presented just in May to another committee of our very same community board. Sean Ryan just asked a question about how unusual is it for us to recommend a complete denial rather than deny unless.
just so I understand the history or what the context.
Deny and we have three categories. We approval with the suggestion that certain things happen, like changing paint color or something. And there is the next is approval provided that, which is the next
Additional, yeah.
loosen it up. And then deny unless means that we recommend denial if they don't do this.
But a full denial would be a fourth category, is that correct?
Yes.
Or do I not understand that?
But we usually
and then
say come
an
back and
outright
provide-
denial
Do it.
Okay, thank you.
requires a great
Can't
deal of
stop that.
No, of course.
So
No,
I'm
but
gonna make it.
that's helpful. Thank you.
This committee has often had full denials.
Yeah,
And
we
I
do.
think we're
Well,
gonna
I
come
wasn't
to
saying we
that.
hadn't. I just haven't been on the committee long
Just
enough.
asking.
That's all.
Yeah, okay.
When-
Great,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can explain it more later if you like to. Arturo,
But
Hey,
this is really dodgy because the thing itself is not deniable as
Yeah.
we evaluated it. But the fact that it came in a package that was a bunch of lies or misrepresentations or whatever the nice way of saying it is, gives good strength to a denial.
Yeah,
Arturo.
thanks, Susan.
Um,
I would.
are we
sorry,
finished with
Chanel.
this?
No, Arturo is trying to, patient Arturo is valiantly trying to speak. Go ahead, Arturo.
Persistent there. Yeah, no, I would second support for a denial given the misrepresentations that have been presented here, given the lack of agreement between the what was presented to SLA and genuinely what felt like a disingenuous presentation when we asked some tougher questions, which seems to be a pattern. The only addition or asterisk I would add to that is that to the extent that that's allowable or considered by the Landmarks Preservation Commission, if they were to make and add a staircase, that it would be something that's minimally invasive and structurally not imposing on, other buildings. I think is the only addition I might ask to be considered if they, somehow end up getting approval, is to just.
Would you say that last thing again, please?
That if they are approved by the commission, that the staircase be minimally structurally invasive onto the other buildings, right? I think the biggest concern is this is a very large structure that potentially can have large impacts on the.
It's not actually invasive as it was presented, but it's that its construction can cause the neighboring problem.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
but the same thing in the end.
Right. Yeah.
They own the whole building, right?
Right.
So they could put it inside. That's what other people do. So that would be a lot invasive on their neighbors.
Anita, I just want to say they do not own the building. They are leasing floors 2 through 5 and the rooftop. Somebody else has the ground floor. They do not own the building.
Thanks, Donna.
Good to know. Thank you.
You're a gold mine, Donna.
And right, we appreciate Donna Appreciation Day.
So that means we're in a position of a lessee constructing the staircase.
All right,
That's really.
Okay. This will call for some new wording of resolution.
Use it for what they want.
Can we move on?
Okay, yeah, we can move on.
Thank goodness 2 things dropped out tonight.
I know we're moving at a snail.
Now, Bleecker Street was really the worst presentation that's ever been made.
And that's saying a lot.
I am, if I hadn't studied it, I'd have no idea what was being talked
Well,
about.
unfortunately, we were studying the wrong version.
Right.
Windows were different. Well, everything.
I
it
think that
wasn't
we
the
have
same.
to say that they have to come back.
Yeah.
Much as
I
I've
think
read
there's
it.
no question. There's no
With-
question. That
With
needs
a
to come
presentation,
back.
with adequate notice. Because we're very clear, we asked them to send an application as soon as is practical, so we can get the idea, things like scheduling the meetings. And
And
then
they
we
weren't
say that
minor
up
things.
until 2 days before the meeting,
Between the late,
they
between,
can send a revised version. And the most revised one we have is just there's acres of stuff missing.
yeah. I mean, I think between the fact that we literally don't have the information we need in order to consider this properly, and the way the quote unquote consultant was like hopping around from here to there and never resting for very long on any one aspect, sort of like, okay, you've seen that, now let's go to something else. Okay, see? Okay, great, now we'll go to something
I
else.
would recommend that somebody who knows how to make a presentation, make a presentation.
I thought it was strange
was
that the
really
applicant
just
picked him as a
appalling.
consultant yesterday. He said he'd known him for 1 day.
And then
Seemed a little strange, but I'm not the expert. So
He didn't have.
got it.
No, but also what was strange was that he also said, well, I said to him this, I said to him, in the winter, you need to take pictures. So was it the winter that they met, or was it yesterday? Like, who knows? And it's irrelevant in a way, in the sense that we just need the information we need and we don't have it.
So return.
So if I could jump in again, I'm talking too much tonight, but.
No, we appreciate you.
But so he just emailed the office to say that he's apologizing, blah, blah, blah. It may be the case that he tried to submit this today. But as Chanel said, we expect the presentation a week before the meeting,
Right,
not the
today's
day
not
of the
good
meeting.
enough, no.
But I wanted to mention, you of course have another meeting on Monday. Do you want to invite him back for Monday, and we'll get the final of whatever it is.
We are overloaded. Monday has turned out to be, the 2 new buildings is all we can manage.
Fair enough.
Just have to wait.
Okay, just thought I'd mention.
Thanks, Mark.
I mean, that we would do that if we could, but we can't.
All right, so they gotta come back. That makes it easy.
Yeah, um, I'm smart, so I figured out what's happening, but it was not presented.
Yes, you are. Okay, now we're gonna do.
Okay, now there were two other things that you wanted to bring up.
Yes, it's more the nature of saying what is. Waverly Place, application, revocable consent to install a fenced-in areaway. This is the standard thing that goes to the Department of Transportation when the sidewalk is invaded in some way. And we approved the application that did it the way they are saying it was done. And this goes to another agency, the Department of Transportation, affirming what we said in the resolution.
What do we
If I
have?
may, you don't actually need another resolution because the resolution you adopted some time ago adequately expresses the support of the committee and the
Right,
board.
we need a letter that says,
That's ministerial. I do that with the office.
Yeah, right.
I'll just submit your resolution with a letter that says this is what the committee said.
You can interrupt us anytime.
Yes. I can interrupt you to take something
Yes,
off your plate. Okay, yeah.
Stick around.
and the other is something that we rarely have and had last
Can I,
week.
Oh, Arturo, sorry, hang on, Chenault. Arturo has got something.
That was on 244 Waverly, right?
Yeah.
When was that application heard exactly?
I think 2015.
I don't have it before me.
I think 2015.
Washington
That's the
Place.
73 Washington, I think.
Washington Place.
I think that's 73 Washington.
Okay, so probably November of 2024, is that?
Might be, yeah.
Oh, looking for the resolution.
Okay,
It's still in effect, whenever it was.
We don't have to do anything.
yeah, no worries, I'll look it up, thanks.
I didn't hear. Can we move on now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Washington Place is extending a permit. They didn't get the work done. This seems to be happening more and more because of COVID, that permissions are running out. And they have made one notable change, which is not to excavate the backyard. And I think we would rejoice in that. And otherwise, it's pretty much intact from what it was and didn't seem to require a hearing.
That sounds reasonable.
And it was approved by the commission. So they've approved, and is extending it with this modification. So those are the two, and these will go into the resolution page as a report to the board, but not for consideration.
So I'd love just to ask a question to the committee. For 244 Waverly Place, this was approved at the November 2024 Landmarks 1 meeting. Personally, I find these intrusions into the sidewalk very uncomfortable because I think it takes up space for people to walk, strollers, just public space. And so I'm just wondering if somebody can provide a little bit of explanation why they found this to be unobtrusive or appropriate.
Without having it before me, I would say that it was probably a relatively small amount beyond the property line, wherever that is, and that it was a typical areaway seen in the village. That would be my surmise.
I'm trying to remember that. Is it a new fenced-in areaway, or is it just the
No,
fence?
it's simply approval of what was approved before.
No, it is, it's definitely net new. I just shared it in the
Oh,
chat.
let's see, yeah. Can you blow it closer? I can't see.
I can't read it. Is it the red solid that is the addition?
Oh, this is with the tree and the big gate, the big, huge gate that hits the tree wicket. Isn't that the one? Can you blow up the floor plan? Oh, I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to. I just can't see. Frustrated. I think this is. Why is that? Because I remember the tree. Remember I said we should require more information about the sidewalks.
We need to look at what we wrote.
I can revisit it on Monday.
I'm happy to revisit on Monday.
We can do it on Monday.
Why don't we all look at what our previous resolution said and talk about it again on Monday?
Sounds good to me.
Is that the application drawing? The one you have,
And what I found from the,
Wednesday, 6/24.
I need to step away. I'll be right back. Are you all figuring out things still?
No, Chanel, can we revisit this on Monday after we've had a chance to look at what our previous resolution said?
Okay. Yes.
I'll get that all.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Next week, just a preview is the first new building of the two is an approved application that was abandoned after the foundation was put in. And this is a completely new building, nothing to do with the other one, to be built on this existing foundation. And it's interesting, it's on Mott Street in the Italian section and was described as being reflective of a tenement building, which is very interesting for a new one. And it's relatively simple. And the applicant, I talked to the applicant, we think that 45 minutes is going to be adequate. So presumably at 7:15, we can start on the big one, which is Canal Street. It requires, as I understand, and I'll study it more, two waivers, one for use as a supportive housing and an attendant increase in size because of the use. So it requires two interlocking and not mutually exclusive waivers. So that's what's on tap. Any further questions, comments?
Time for dinner.
Awesome. See everybody on Monday.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks,
All right.
all. Thanks.
Thanks,
Cindy.
everybody. Good night. Good
Susan,
night.
I'll get things to you fairly soon because tomorrow morning is vacant on purpose.
Okay, great. I'll keep an
Okay.
eye
And
Okay.
once we've figured out what to say, we'll send it around so you can comment on what we said. Okay, thank you.
Aye, Captain.
Thanks, Chanel.
Thank you, thanks, Sean.
Good night.
Let's hope for a good
Aye.
presentation next time.